Look at that. Dude. I think I'm about to get screwed over again. It just rained. It just finished raining like 5 minutes ago. And then I came outside. I wanted to continue the work because I had my coffee and all the new energy in the whole world. And I wanted to continue the work, but it looks like not for long. Oh, by the way, what's up? It's me. That dude over there. Now we're gonna continue the mission now. I think I don't need to really explain anything unless you're like new. Now I do get a couple of those every video as well, so might as well. Basically, it kind of went like this. The last time we did a bunch of work and that's about it. And you know, today's mission is pretty simple. We just need to convert this bunch into a bunch of beams. And actually I wanted to do this whole in a single video, but I think it was like 3 hours long already, and I figured this is gonna be like another 3 hours, so whatever, let's split it into two. And that's actually not the only thing that we need to do. We also need to well, I'm gonna get a lot of logs like this from that pile as well, so we need to fire up the giveaway splitter, get rid of these as well. That needs to be emptied, and I think I'm gonna at least fill it 1, maybe even 2 times more. So gonna get a lot of firewood from that as well. Luckily though, you know, the boxes, I've been having like a steady stream of those in the last week or so. There's a guy who's been bringing them to me for a pretty decent price as well. I think I paid like 15 euros per box. So currently I have 6 here, and 4, 8, 12 plus 2, 14 here. Plus the guy told me that he can bring me 12 more, which I agreed, and I think if I get those 12 as well, I should be pretty much solid forever, I would say. I already have 50 of them there, plus I'm gonna get 30 more extra. Man, I just put on a new shirt. Who made this stupid lot so huge? Piss off, water. I'm dry. But yeah, on the firewood boxes situation, I think I'm pretty much secure with that. We should be able to nicely fit everything into the box, and I should even have like leftovers, so that's pretty good. Now, are you clean now? Oh, by the way, welcome to the channel. The 1 or 2 individuals who I usually get per video. You have made a poor choice. This is practically hell. But yeah, goals are pretty simple. Cut the bigger logs into something more useful. Do all the firewood. Do all of it. Also, I need to clean up that pad over there. The firewood pad. It needs to be cleaned up because I want to store all the beam material onto the concrete, and maybe also the the live edge boards. There was like a thunder thing over there that kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, the live edge boards, maybe if I can fit them. If not, I need to find a new spot for those. And the longer pieces, the longer beams, all on the concrete. So this will be like a storage location for that for a while at least. Plus I need to order up some roofing panels as well, so I can put the panels on top once I finish all the piles. In the last video it took me 6 or 7 days to complete, and I'm thinking the current mission will also take me about the same amount of time to complete. So without any further ado, let's just kind of get to work. The first thing that I need to do is I need to get rid of the log deck because I don't need it anymore. We're gonna start feeding those longer pieces into the mill with the bobcat, so let's get rid of that, clean up the area to some degree, and then I need to empty that before I start sawmilling, because at the moment I'm not sure. What's this? Vihma sajab ju! Äikest ka lööb! And I thought I was crazy. Look at that. What a mess. But yeah, about the green box, I'm not sure if I can keep it here. I would love to keep it here, honestly, because I'm gonna get a lot of those stumps, and I would rather put them on that side. But I'm thinking maybe the longer logs, they won't clear if the green box is here. Guess I just have to test it out and see. I'm not really sure at the moment. Maybe we can keep it here. I'm gonna wait for a moment for the rain to go a bit lower. Then let's start the action. Those chicks are crazy, bro. Look at that. Oh, more crap. Now, whatever you do, guys, don't buy the 68mm or even like anything less than 100 piping for the rainwater cutters. They just get clogged immediately. They don't work at all. They're just a bunch of waste of money, honestly. Buy something bigger. The bigger the better. It's just a bunch of crap. Not worth it. Oh look, similar situation. Bunch of nonsense. And actually the third leg, excellent idea. It helped out a lot, but the hinge design is kind of a chunk. This thing will just break immediately once I try to move it with the Bobcat. It's just gonna try to break off like that. I think I would need to make like a better hinge here, something beefier. That's just garbage. But the idea itself is great. It did help out a lot, especially with the shorter pieces. I think I only had like couple of really stubborn logs which still went in the middle somewhere, but mostly it was fine. Currently, there's this very old unit from 1990. It weighs about 9 tons. Apparently it's functional. I'm still kind of thinking it over. I think I don't need one, maybe. Joppana putsaisi. But then again, maybe. I'm just afraid that I need it only once and then then I don't need it anymore. But maybe it's actually a good idea, I'm not sure. I mean, I can always saw it, right, if I don't need it. Might go buy it, not sure. At least these boxes are empty. The ones I got from the plywood factory, some of them had like 100 liters of freaking glue in it. Expired glue. What the hell am I gonna do with that thing? This is much better. Also much cheaper. You know what, guys, I'm gonna try something differently. I did not add the strap this time, but it still seems pretty level at the moment. I was thinking though, maybe if I leave this cut as the last cut, or maybe that's better, you know, because if I do this cut, then this entire pile wants to go that way. But if I do this cut first, then this guy can go that way, and hopefully the remainder will stay between the two sticks nicely. I mean, worth a shot, right? actually works a lot better, yeah. Plus nothing really collapsed as well. Everything's still stacked pretty much. I can just unstack it and then split what I need to split and restack it. Much easier than picking them up from the ground. But guys, if you're kind of thinking about maybe building something similar, then one thing that I would definitely change would be to make the thing as wide as your chainsaw bar length is. Because cutting it from both sides, even if you have like perfect conditions, you're still gonna miss the mark. You know, for example, right here, I mean, everything kind of looks that I'm cutting straight, but actually, you know, when I'm cutting from the other side, the blade still kind of goes either left or right, and then you have like weird half cuts all over the place. I think it would be a lot better if the box was actually the same width as the cutting bar itself, so you would just kind of stand on one side, cut the entire row in a single swoop. No need to go to the other side at all. This feels kind of slow though. I don't know. And by slow I mean this is, well, it feels like it took me an entire day to just fill 3.5 boxes, which you kind of did because the day is over. Now if you compare this setup to the Kirvet splitter, dude, that guy was bumping out one box every 15 to 20 minutes. I think this was like maybe 40 minutes per box at the moment. I think this guy is super slow. Or I'm picking stuff from there, that takes forever. Wish there was a giant hole where you can push all the nonsense into and it will burn up. But yeah, whatever. My hands are about to fall off at the moment, so I figured let's go play around with the Bobcat a bit. Supermom! Look at that. Doing her supermom things. Maybe she can't see us. I can't believe that piece of crap is still running. I'm talking about the mower, by the way, not the other thing. That would be kind of weird. But she did tell me that the front tire keeps going flat. The second one now, not the one we fixed. Yeah. Stop mowing rocks, bro. Check out the road. I think it's been a couple of years now. Everything's still good. No more nothing. Ära muretse, ma ei lähe vastu siia absoluutselt, noh. Kuradi mutt. Got stung by a stupid wasp. No idea where the guy came from. Look at the nice day. It's so beautiful that you can't even see the 20 tons of roofing panels over there. Wow. Make sure you delete that part. But yeah, in about 19 days, I'm gonna attempt to set this crap on fire. Then it's gonna be 24th of June, and that's the day when we usually make fire, once per year. I'm probably gonna try to make like a video out of it as well. Might be pretty interesting. I'm not sure if this piece of carnage will even burn. My main concern is that the stumps that are here are just so huge, plus absolute ton of dirt as well. I've been kind of hoping that maybe the rain washes the dirt away with time, but looks like it hasn't really done anything. But you know, still we should be able to get this pile at least somewhat smaller, right? Even if it doesn't burn all up. Right now it's just kind of getting a bit too wide. Oh look, wasp. I think that's the same guy. Yeah, I hate those guys. But yeah, I guess just kind of try to get the pile smaller. Right now it's just growing too big, too wide. Rather too wide actually. So that might be a fun little project. A little change in plans. I'm gonna also try to get the live edge. And I should actually get quite a few of them. Currently I'm not sure though if I should cut them in half or keep them the length they are. But still, I think it's worth taking a live edge out of every cut. I should get at least 2 boards minimal per log. And if we have about 30 logs over there, then that's like 60 live edge boards. And if I cut them in half, that means I'm gonna get 120 of them. So I think it's totally worth it, yeah. A bit more work, but worth it. And I had a little bit of wonder up front. Basically I need to change the blade, but maybe we can finish this log. Not the most precise measuring tools, but you should get the picture. Basically, if the blade starts to get dull, then it's gonna try to find like a easier pathway through the wood. So it's gonna either dive or go upwards. It's kind of going all over the place. Very wavy cut. And that actually felt pretty good. Maybe I'm gonna drive one more log. I decided I'm gonna cut them in half. Having such a long live edge is so impractical. How was it? Another again. Oh man, it went the other way. I was hoping it would come here. Drop like a Chatham right over there. Then we could end the video immediately. But yeah, go through the logs first, stack the crap here, clean up that crap, relocate the crap to that crap. Bunch of crap. Mean. You guys remember yesterday it was raining very heavily and the kids were riding around in rain. I did not get that wet, but dude, my throat is so sore right now. Somehow the kids are doing fine though. That kind of makes no sense. That's so unfair. Maybe the little devil should start doing sawmilling instead. And I'm gonna go drive around with my e-bike. Hopefully off a cliff somewhere. Look at that. 2 logs done already. Wow. Dude, we gotta go cut more trees down. Clearly, right? As for the dimensions of the beams, I'm basically aiming for different sizes, I guess, but they're largely gonna be the same. So, for example, this is was 125 millimeters wide, so that's not like a real 6. I guess it's like a 5. So 5 by 12. The other one was 5 by 10. And you know the width, it doesn't really matter that much, but it needs to be more than 4, 100%. And the the other dimension, well, anything will go basically 6, 8, 10 or 12. I think we should be able to get quite a nice stockpile of beams, even if I don't need them all. At least they're there. But anyway, I think the next log is actually the biggest log in the bunch. Maybe that guy is a bit bigger, but the issue is that I can't really lift it with the bobcat. It's really heavy. Just look at the size of this thing. Holy hell. And the sucky thing is that even though this is most likely like 50, 55, something like that, the maximum I can cut with my bandsaw mill height wise is only like 42 centimeters. Width wise though, I can go 55. So that math kind of makes no sense, but no, it is what it is. So basically that means the first cut I can do for like 40. I'm gonna be cutting it somewhere over there, and this will be all waste. I'm not gonna deal with it, sadly. I can't really fix that until I do some upgrades on my sawmill. A lot of mud on this thing. Tiny rocks and everything. This is a blade killer. Wow, this thing is really wide. Not the worst actually. I thought it's gonna come out from somewhere in the middle. But I think this is actually pretty close to the biggest log I ever got on my homemade sawmill. It's not quite as big as my biggest log I ever got, but it's pretty close, I would say. This guy is 62 centimeters width wise, and I still have maybe like 20 millimeters more that I can put. So technically I can do like 60 centimeters wide with this guy, but the height is sadly limited to like 43. I can go like 45, but at about 44 the blades, I mean the belts start dropping against the support bracket over there, so I can't really go higher than that sadly, unless I redesign the whole setup. I would need to make it higher overall. That will fix the problem. Maybe next year we'll do that. Although then again, I rarely get so huge logs. Most of the time that guy is fine. Only a select few will screw me over. Man, how am I gonna make that turn? There's no way. Yeah, it's not even moving. Okay, well, let's go try to use the Yanmar, I guess. Maybe that's the question to all the questions, or the solutions. That should work. Look at the clearance, bro. Basically none. Wow. It's like someone did some serious math when building this shed. It wasn't me, I didn't know how to do any math. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Yanmar parked here. And for the bigger guys, Yanmar will get the job done, hopefully without breaking anything. But you know, I think we only have a couple more that size logs in that pile. Everything else should be able to. Well, I should be able to turn them by hand. If I was able to turn the first two, then everything else is pretty much cake. Actually, I'm kind of glad I'm cutting up the pieces now. Well, to be honest, I'm already late. That one is from last year, and it's already starting to rot. And from this side, it doesn't look much of anything. It looks pretty good, but you know, we can see like a little line over there, which is bad. Luckily, I'm gonna cut that off. But on this side, a lot more of that rot business. Basically, everything up here is dead. Same situation. Also here. Luckily, though, I will be cutting most of the rot off. Down there, it looks a lot better. It's like an entire tree. No, if you had like a proper sawmill, you could even resaw or get some decent material out of that, right? Well, not in this particular case because of the rot situation. This actually looks pretty good. You know, that's everything white, that's good, but as you can see from this end, it's kind of getting a bit redder. That's rot setting in, but they're mostly this, at least mostly this log is, well, it was worth cutting it up, definitely. I had some ideas for a moment there that maybe this is just a bunch of waste of time, but yeah, totally worth it still. And that plate is pretty much like, boss, I'm tired, give me a break. But maybe we can finish this log still. You have my permission to rest now. Sketchy. What? Yeah, where can I throw it? Oh. Mine nahui right. I mean, it should work now. I had the wrong settings. rutty business.
It seemed fine for a moment there, but
the core is rot. Looks like this chunk is good though.
that's strong, but that the start it had basically that.
Can't win them all, right?
The biggest issue with these small engines, the freaking muffler just wants to leave the chat constantly.
Oh, how did they get that? Wow. A while ago, some of you guys recommended to use some copper nuts. I haven't even found them yet, honestly. My local hardware store has no such things. Maybe I should order them from Amazon or something. I think they would work a lot better here than regular nuts with spring washers. But you know, other than that, this thing works great. Even the carburetor issue resolved itself. Now it's running just fine. Sometimes you don't need to do anything. I don't know what to tell you guys. Nothing's broken. Guess we just have to continue the cocaine molding. 31 ei olnud või? 31 tundub natuke palju. Dude, I don't know what happened to the steel saw, but this piece of crap doesn't have any power anymore. Seems to work right now, I don't know. Never mind, I guess it works fine. Maybe if it sits for a bit and we try to start it up again. Because before it starts fine, but the moment you put some load on the engine, it just stalls. Feels like it has no power. Well, had no power, yeah. Bro, I have no idea. Maybe it's just camera shy, you know. It will work if the camera is rolling, but not work if it's not. Or maybe this thing is made by the same guy who manufactured Joseph's Pony motor. Because, you know, that thing is basically the same. It will work, and then it will not work, and then it will work again, and then it will not work. Oh. Why is my box already full? I haven't even started yet. And we need to build a bigger box. This is nonsense. Damn. I think that's progress. Dude, I smell a shed. I'm almost through the bunch now. Look at that. I think we started off with 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. Wow. So more than twice, right? More than halfway through. And the remaining bunch is not that scary, honestly. Yeah, I think we already got the biggest log. This guy is a bit weird, but we need to cut this thing shorter. We need to remove the crack. I think the crack ends like somewhere over here. And this guy is a bit long, just kind of cut it shorter. Also this, I cut one chunk out of that end, then it's good. Well, other than that, I think it's pretty solid. It's actually ending, wow. But I have to take a pause from the sawmilling now. As you already witnessed, the stupid box is filled again. That kind of went fast, honestly. I think it only took me like an entire day to fill it, wow. With the smaller pieces, it took me at least 3 or 4 days to fill this thing, so... Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna draw you on a quick time lapse while I go through the emotions. They're only the best kinds. Man, this is emptier than empty. What is this? Wood glue, gray. I mean wood oil. Sorry, not glue. Yeah, looks pretty gray to me. But yeah, I'm gonna draw you guys on a quick little time lapse. Let's go through that box and then the remaining logs. If nothing goes wrong, then we should be done pretty fast. Luckily though, the mission will not end with that. Still have a lot of work to do. I also want to split, you know, those things which, you know, these 3 boxes as well. Make firewood out of them. That way I can get, loose end. Yeah, that way I can tie up this loose end as well. You're considering how much firewood plus lumber I'm gonna get. Maybe next year we can just totally skip this mess. Maybe we don't need to deal with it whatsoever. So we could do a lot more important things, like I don't know, fix one of those, or maybe that guy. But that's a big maybe. What are you talking about, bro? The power post is fine. We don't need to fix that. That, however, dude, not even Odin can fix that. That's a total loss. But yeah, let's enjoy some dunes. Do a bit of firewood and finish something.
the hell shit on my lawn? That looks so bad. But now guys, what are you doing over here? Action is over there. Tule takaisin. Mitä se on mun? Man, look at this guy. What does he think he is? Man, I'm gonna set you on fire and then set you on fire again. Keppi liigattu. Don't worry, Mr. Buddy. I will introduce you to the Kirvet splitter soon. Türa, ma vihkan seda koort, see on nagu Dude, I'm so thankful I built that Kirvet splitter. Because, you know, splitting this lot with that little blueberry over there is just so bad. I guess we can do like a little comparison later. Let's try to split one log with that guy and the next log with the other guy. Might be a pretty fun little comparison. But yeah, splitting the bigger guys now is not really an issue for me. The only problem I have is that I need some type of a log lift, which will take the log up to the splitter. Might actually build that. Oh, and I absolutely hate this freaking log. I think this is elm, and the bark is just so horrible on it. And especially when cutting this log, I've had bark pieces like this. They get stuck between the blade and the roller or the guide block. And what that will do is the blade will keep spinning, but the roller will stop. And thus the blade, because it's riding slightly against the back end of the guide block, it will immediately carve like a little line into that wall. And you can even see a couple of little scratches over there maybe. Not sure how well the camera can pick that up. But now what that will do is it will create unnecessary vibration throughout the entire system. Now as the blade travels around, it's constantly hitting those scratches with the back end. And thus it's creating this little weird metal sound plus a lot of vibration. It only happens with this stupid log. The bark on the elm is just so bad. It doesn't want to break, it kind of peels off like skin, and it gets stuck everywhere. This just... I hate it so badly. Also, when splitting firewood, elm is just horrible because the two log pieces, they don't want to separate. Even if the splitter splits them apart, there's still a bunch of fibers holding the two pieces together, and you can't physically separate them even by hand. Now, especially annoying with this guy because this guy only gets about this far before it stops. It would be great if it could push all the way through, but not designed like that, I guess. This thing only has like 35 centimeters of travel length, which is just a joke. But yeah, whatever. I think we only have one more left there, and I think this is the last elm, so we don't need to bitch about that anymore. And after that, we only have one more log left. By the way, I'm not sure if you noticed, we lost power during the time lapse for a brief moment. But it was not like a local event. Actually, the entire county was down for some reason. So I think like 150,000 people were without power. Roughly. That's actually... And the problem, the guys at the electric shop told that there was an error on someone's behalf when they were switching something. So, yeah. You know what I find really amazing? How easy it is actually to cut wood with a bandsaw blade. When you consider cutting it with like a chainsaw, it's pretty hard, right? And splitting the wood even harder. But the bandsaw blade, bro, especially if it's a brand new bandsaw blade, then it feels like you're cutting. I'm not sure what's like a good comparison. I guess cutting fresh snow or compacted snow with a chainsaw. I guess that would be a pretty solid comparison actually. It just feels so effortless. Yeah, especially if you have a brand new blade. It just feels so effortless to go through the wood. That's why I want to wash it. I want to make sure I can keep that sharp edge as long as possible. I mean, you saw how much dirt we had on the bark there, right? If we just went through that dirt with the blade, it's gonna dull it 100%. By the way, that's the way I started off with lumber cutting. With this chainsaw actually. Maybe over 10 years ago now, I'm not really sure. But I built this type of, I don't know, let's call this like a contraption of the sorts. And I built that thing out of wood. Then I put the chainsaw, strapped it down inside the box, and then I milled lumber out of logs. So this was my first ever setup for lumber milling, and I started off from here, and somehow we ended up here. Look at that, what a mess. No, leave it. Kuradi bobcat, ma panen su. No, while I was loading this guy on the bed, the bobcat jumped left and then hit the mill with the log. Now this thing is off the track. Wow. Nice. I guess we got lucky. Bobcat lives another day.
a bit tall, but
maybe we can do it. Oi jummal, seda ei jõua raisk, see on nii raske.
Dirty hoe.
In your face, bro. Good job, Mr. Miser. Dude. Smell that? Smells like victory. Even the sun came out to memorize this moment. I'm finished. Holy shit, I'm finished, bro. No more logs left. I am so glad right now. Oh, I really did not want to do this job, and I've been doing it for almost like 2 weeks. I started last week, actually the other last week on Saturday, and then we did the first video, which took me about a week, and currently it's Thursday, so half a week. Yeah, this cutting the longer pieces took me exactly half a week. I'm sad that we're not finished yet, but I am so happy at least that part's done. And look at the freaking spaceport. It's such a mess at the moment. I used to repair equipment here. It looks like a mud pit now. Wow, but totally worth it still. The pad itself is so useful to work on, you know. I mean, just imagine if I did all the sawmilling while being in that little mud pile. Now, this is not even that bad because it hasn't rained for at least 12 hours now, so this is already drying up. But yesterday this was horrible. And just imagine trying to work in it, especially with my stupid boots, because you can literally see daylight through those things. But at the moment I think my socks contain more water than the oceans. Dude, that makes no sense, but it's true. But you know, whatever. I'm really happy that this ended now. And I got a really healthy supply of beams, although I'm pretty sure I have nowhere to put them even. At least I got the logs cut, and that was like a priority for me, I guess. We do have a lot of beams though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have over 20 beams here. That means we could build this shed like 3 times over with this bunch. Wow, dude, this is insane. But anyway, let's just kind of continue the work here. The primary mission has ended, but they still have a lot of side quests that we need to fail. So let's get to it. Tight, very tight. Right. Honestly, I am impressed how that camera still works. You guys did not see the fall, but it did happen. Broke the stand. Somehow the camera is still fine though. I've set this guy on fire at least 3 times now. It's fallen down more than I can count. But it still works. Great tools to have, but most of the time they're missing, sadly. I always try to stick them to something metal, but because I have too much metal. I think I'm missing like 4 at the moment. What is this, your new home? Piss off! Dude, I'm not even allowed to stay here. It's so crap. The engine feels a bit off. I think something's clogged again. Look at that. Just drips and drops from the fuel tank. Looks like someone's underwear in there. What? Holy hell. Man. I need bigger lungs. Back in action, baby. At least until something goes wrong again. I haven't bothered to deal with the fuel issue on this guy. I'm just kind of putting out the fires every now and then. Usually I get some debris stuck between the lip of the small fuel filter, and sometimes something clogs up at the tank itself. But you know, after you clear it, it's good for a while. So I haven't bothered to really fix the issue. But yeah, I need to remove the fuel tank and either install a new fuel tank or try to clean the old fuel tank. But you know, that's not really like a priority. However, I need to do this before the winter starts, so definitely need to keep that in mind. Oh, and by the way, I've replaced that filter out like 3 times already. It fills up with gunk like that. It looks like sawdust, part sand, part rust. There's basically like a lot of shit in that tank, and I think it's not even worth trying to clean it, so should try to get like a new tank. There you had it, guys. Your daily dose of the new lemon news. Hope it was worth it. You know what, guys, I figured let's clean up the entire bed. Why leave like a little thing under it? Plus then we can get rid of the ant nest as well. you think, guys? Will the Mr. Ants and Mrs. Ant Nesses enjoy the new home? Looks like they're already settling in. Too bad they can't build their new nest for long. I got a feeling there's gonna be like a giant drone or something that will fly into the pile and everything will explode. I mean, this is a very strategic. One moment. Strategic. What the shit? I mean, this is a very important target, right? I have a feeling that someone in about 11 days will make this pile disappear. But anyway, before I change out the forks, I mean the bucket for the forks, I'm gonna go scoop up some of that mud as well from the center of the spaceport. You know, this was kind of my fault. And while I was hauling the logs over from there to here, there was this one log which Bobcat was unable to move. Yeah, this was your fault, mister. But you know, then I decided to invite the Volvo into the situation, and you know, the guy performed pretty good with the grappler. It actually went so good that I decided to grab the remaining logs as well with the grappler. And everything seemed cool until I let the load go. Yeah, this little dirt also picked up like half a ton of mud with the logs. I did not even notice that until I let everything go. Kind of sucky, honestly. I'm thinking this part is too wide. It just has so much surface area for the mud to stay on, right? Maybe we should redesign this part, delete this whole section and put like a third leg like that to support the grappler. Not really sure. Seems like a lot of work. Maybe not worth it. Hopefully you enjoy the ride, because we got a bunch of nonsense from here on out.
palju see paska all vittu, ma ei saa aru.
I'm pissed! Wow, look at that. This patch just came a lot more useful than it was before. Kind of tight though, but not bad. I still need to put some type of cover on them. At the moment I don't have any good options. I figured I'm gonna buy roofing panels, but I would need to spend like almost 300 euros to cover this lot. So maybe there's like a cheaper option. My buddy told me that he has these tarps, but they're not those cheap green tarps. They're actually these, I guess something like this, but even better. Semi trucks use them to cover the sides and the top. So maybe you know what I'm talking about, those types of tarps. He told me that he will charge €1 per square meter. So that's maybe like 15-20 euros to cover up there. I think that's a pretty decent option rather than buying roofing panels. Well, the roofing panels would work excellently well as well, but those things, A, tend to fly off with the wind, and B, are really heavy, so you need to get them up there somehow. Yeah, so I think the tarp option would actually work a lot better as a temporary cover. But while the tarp situation sorts itself out, I figured let's continue the mission here, and I need to get rid of that bunch again. Luckily, it's the last time. I swear, guys, it's the last time. We have no more logs to fill that thing with. I'm gonna start off the day and finish in, I know, probably in a few seconds, if we're lucky. Oh man, I was just starting to like this nonsense. I mean, crap. Dude, this was probably like the most boring 5 hours of my entire lifetime. Luckily, the Taylor baby songs helped to keep my insanity in check. I mean, sanity. But it's all good. We can now focus on things that are a lot more important. Also, exciting. Like for example, driving around with the Bobcat. And clearly we haven't done that for a while now. Okay, that should be pretty much set up now, but I do have like a leak over there, so I want to check that out. I think it's the Soviet hose, the one Steve brought me. And so far, 2 of them have failed, and if this was a broken hose again, then this would be the 3rd time. They both look kind of wet, but I think it's this one maybe. From there, perhaps. I'm gonna fire the thing up for a moment, then we can see. hose is bad again. Piece of crap. Soviet hoses don't even last for 5 hours. Okay, well, I'm gonna swap this one out again. Maybe the next one will last 5.5 hours. And surprisingly enough, actually not surprisingly enough, all the hoses have felt the same. They have just blown open from there where the connection starts. I think it has something to do with rust, internal rot perhaps. Maybe I should throw all the hoses away which Steve brought me. I mean, so far it seems like they're just not worth it. Give me my thing back. Huh. Okay. Honestly, this thing looks a bit different. Oh, I think it's not one of those Soviet hoses. Looks like a bit more modern, but somehow the threads match up. What? Bro, that makes no sense. Oh, whatever. As long as it works and it doesn't explode. We mahara. Would be great if I had this type of secondary protection though on all the joints, because you guys remember when the hydraulic hose blew on Joseph. And sadly I did not get that on video. We only glimpsed it a little bit because it happened off frame. But no, it was something like this. I mean, dude, that was pretty violent explosion, I would say. I'm not sure what the pressure was inside when it went, because it went while the blade was up, with probably a couple of tons of dirt as well, keeping the blade up. But the explosion, it went. I remember the mist. It flew like 20 meters or something like that. I mean, just imagine if you're next to it while the thing explodes. Dude, that mist will fly through your head. That's actually very scary. Lots of people have died just because of that. Yeah, you should have something to cover this area. It's just, if the hose ruptures, it will most likely rupture from the joint itself, where the press has been done. That's like the most probable spot, right? So it would be great if I had some type of a cover here, which would capture the deadly mist, perhaps. Yeah, luckily I did not throw the Ackerman's suction hoses away. I figured might need them one day, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to use them. I mean, this type of hose actually is very expensive. The thing is maybe about 40 to 50 euros per meter. Now this is about a meter roughly, so that's like 50 bucks right here if you buy it new. They're pretty heavy duty hoses, and I think they should survive the initial hit if the hose decides to blow up. I mean, look at the thickness of that rubber. That's definitely gonna save someone's life one day. Okay. Kinda looks weird, but safety. I think it's worth it, definitely. Now as for that hose, I believe we don't need anything there. That should be pretty safe. That's maybe like 20 years younger than the stupid Soviet hoses. But anyway, now we should be able to have some fun. You know what, guys? Let's do like a fun little experiment. So I tried to split. These came from the off-cut station over there, and I tried to split some of them with the little blueberry. Didn't go so well. It took me like 5 minutes to actually get through one log. So I figured, how long will it take for the Girva splitter? Plus, let's try to split like maybe some bigger guys with the small guy, I mean, and see how long that takes. See how useful that little deck is? Okay, that literally took forever. I think I even felt part of my beard growing. But it did split, so gotta give credit where credit is due, right? Now one could argue that you could get faster results with like a wedge. In my case, the winglet. But dude, if I try to split something bigger with the wedge, this thing will most likely just stall out. Maybe this won't even fit. Oh, it will fit. This big boy. Oh, look at that. Guy did not even reach the wings. Nope. Okay, well, let's go to the Soviet Union. Safety shoes on, tailor on. shit. Dude, look at that mess. Kirovet splitter doesn't give two craps about wood. Kuradi kartulipuder on ma seal. Seeing this? Check this crap out. What the hell? Dude, no wonder the Soviet hoses keep blowing up. Look at that pressure. For my backstop. Well, that didn't take long at all.
Already filled. Plus, it's a lot more fun. Now, before I continue, I'm gonna gloat a bit. One moment, I already forgot what I was supposed to gloat about. Oh yeah. So I really like how fast the ram is moving, you know. With the other splitter, you put the log on the deck and start the splitting process, but by the time the push rod has fully extended and returned home, you had already grown like 7 beards and died at least 11 times due to old age, because that thing is just so slow. And with this thing, while you're splitting, you have like a lot of time to think about well, everything, like life choices and stuff like that. You're kind of wandering around in your own thoughts while you're using this type of splitter. But dude, with that thing, the hands are constantly moving. You don't have any time to think. You just work. Do something, split, do something again. And it's just so fast, you know. You don't really have like any time to think. You just work. Hands are constantly moving. Another thing that I kind of like about this splitter is well, it's kind of something that I don't like about it, but also like about it. And that would be its weight. I think it weighs about 300 kilos, maybe a bit more. But you know, if I have like a log which gets stuck on the wedges, I can just pull with both hands and I'm not gonna move this thing. No sir. Now if I had a log stuck on that wedge, I'm just pulling the splitter with me all the time. If I wanna get it unstuck, you know, can't really move this. But there also lies the negativity, because this splitter also suffers the same disability than the other guy. The ram will not go all the way to the wedge, and that's why I have to use like a little thing. It would be great if this ram was about 100 millimeters longer, but it's not really an issue, I guess. I mean, the separating thing also works pretty good. You might need several of them though, as you saw. The first one kind of got squashed pretty fast. But yeah, honestly, I kind of like using this setup for splitting, you know, chunky stuff like that. Currently I'm thinking, I by the way have like a new idea. Currently I'm thinking I'm not gonna incorporate this splitter into my firewood setup. Maybe. I'm not really sure at the moment. I've been toying with this idea for a bit now. So I figured maybe I'm gonna keep this splitter as like a separate thing, just to split chunky stuff like this. You know, odd sizes and stuff like that. And maybe we could install, you know, because this is so heavy, maybe we could install a log lift on it. You know, maybe remove or redesign this support deck and build a log lift which would pick up the logs from the ground and place them somewhere here, so heavier pieces can be also split without any back-breaking issues. And for the roller deck or the cutting station, we could build a new splitter. And maybe we could even install it under here. I do have one Kirovets ram which is kind of left over at the moment. It's a spare. And it's totally healthy as well. We just need a new set of seals. And then it's good to go. What is this crap? What's up, dog? Never seen a bug like that before. Oh. Good thing I came here. I was kind of wondering where I left this. But yeah, if we build another splitter under that deck, we could keep it 40 centimeters. That's the travel length of this cylinder. And we can keep this guy at 50 centimeters for longer pieces, I guess, odd sizes. What do you guys think about that idea? Or should I try to incorporate this setup into that setup? I think building a new thing might actually be a better idea, but not really sure at the moment. I still need to figure out how I'm gonna lay out the entire setup, you know, because I need to make that pad longer, or wider rather. Plus I had the idea that I'm gonna make the roller deck longer as well. But yeah, still have quite a bit of time until that. I'm gonna try to quickly continue here at the moment. Don't have a lot, but still I'm guessing maybe like almost 2 hours. My buddy told me that we're gonna get some crazy weather either today or tomorrow morning. You know, the regular stuff: lightning, thunder, hail, water, Sorry guys, my fingers don't work like that. I can't keep 4 fingers up without the 5th coming up as well. It's a bug. Maybe like, okay, that way it works. Also wind, so the big 5.
Rebar for another bat.
But dude, I'm so happy that I managed to actually get more of these boxes and for such a cheap price as well. And the guy is actually supposed to do the final delivery either the day or tomorrow. He was not sure. But basically I was able to get 36 of these boxes for 600 euros total. Now if you consider brand new, you know, clean plastic and brand new, one box is about 270 euros. So I got 36 used boxes for 600 bucks. I think that's pretty dope. And if we're talking about numbers, then way back when I bought that guy over there, I do believe I paid maybe like 300 euros for it. I'm not really sure how much that is today, but I think I paid about 300. And when I built that guy, I think I didn't pay anything, honestly. I already had all the steel from the roller deck project. Oh, I needed to buy the I-beam, right? So the I-beam was 200 something, but that's about it, I think. So yeah, about 200 bucks in materials in order to build that guy. I had everything else. And the hydraulic station, I think it was around 700. Although I did have a lot of the parts for this build as well. I still needed to buy the engine, the filter, and the wheels. I think I had everything else. And Weber was kind enough to send me their hydraulic reservoir, which broke after 5 minutes, but it's okay, we fixed it. And also the little bump. By the way, I am incredibly impressed that all that power goes through that tiny little shaft over there on the pump. 12.7 millimeters. I think that's like half an inch, something like that. All that power goes through that shaft in order to power the kilowatt splitter. I think that's just insane. If I were to install, design a hydraulic pump for this unit, I think I would make the shaft out of 100 millimeter round stock. Literally. Good thing I'm not an engineer. Just imagine if I were to build a boat, that the boat would sink through the crust. And then I would say, but it was designed like that. It was supposed to float on the mantle. You know what? I'm gonna pick this up tomorrow. Weather is kind of sketchy at the moment. I saw like a huge lightning somewhere over there. So I don't need to be energized. Yeah, let's hope for a better weather tomorrow. Shut up! I'm meditating here. Man, look at that. Oh. Much water. Whoa. I thought there was gonna be an explosion. Guess not. Stupid dog. Should get a real one. Oh look, it's clearing up. Not so dark anymore. I guess the cloud went past. Wolverine said something. One moment. Explosion so hard. Furniture door shake on the second floor. Haha. Noob. He's typing a reply, but my battery just died. Oh man. Such a disappointment. Oh good. The wind did not blow the splitter away. Well, I guess this mission just ended. The stupid tank ruptured from the other side now. Look at that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do that. So maybe something's wrong. Now, if you guys did mention something about this the first time it broke from the front end, you know, I have not even released that video yet, so I wouldn't know what you guys said at the moment. I'm not really sure, you know, maybe it's just poor build quality of the tank itself, but it shouldn't do that regardless. I don't think I'm gonna try to fix this anymore. I mean, it's just gonna pop open from another location. And clearly we don't have any overpressure issues going on inside the tank because this is a vented cap. I guess it's breaking because of vibration at the moment, but maybe there's another cause. I kept a steady eye on this guy, like every fifth or something log. I figured I'm gonna keep an eye on it just in case something goes wrong. And then I kind of turned around and saw that it's blowing out oil from the side like a freaking fountain. So maybe there was pressure inside the tank, but that kind of makes no sense because I do have that vent cap. Plus, there's another hole there as well, so I shouldn't have any of that pressure issue. Now, during one of my older videos, I do remember some of you told me that I got these two holes which switched around so that the bigger one should be the feed hole for the pump and the smaller one should be the return hole. But then again, the pump's inlet port is even smaller than that hole, so I figured it doesn't really matter. So I'm not really sure, honestly. As for this punch though, clearly I don't want to split it with the stupid blueberry. Maybe I should just throw it away. I don't really have like a spot to put them. Or we could roll the Yanmar into the area and use that. Guy could save the day. Good thing there's pints of sawdust here for some reason. Very handy. About the tank though, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I think there's like a glitch or something's incorrectly done. Or the tank is just crap. Now, those are the two possible options I have at the moment. Now, as of right now, I don't really need the guy anyway, so I'm gonna probably park it for a while. And if I have some feedback, what might be the issue, then I'm gonna try to mend the situation. Most likely, though, now unless this problem is my end, there is some type of error, then I will probably try to reuse this tank. But if not, then I'm most likely gonna build my own tank out of some thick wall steel, maybe 30 millimeters. Should work. Now the sucky thing about the Yanmar is the speed. It is considerably slower because that pump is a two-stage pump, while the Yanmar only has a one-stage pump. On a plus note though, Yanmar delivers a lot more power. So it's sort of like a win-lose situation. Look at the bright side though. At least we have plenty of time to think about things. Maybe we can figure out what's the problem with that. Can we break this guy though? Break its soul, I mean. Well, ain't that a mess? Yeah, wait. Stop squirting on my log splitter, bro.
No, elad ülevast.
Just panin kinni.
End of mission.
Now, splitting the last logs was the last thing that we needed to do before we could start the last real thing that we needed to do. And that would be the cleanup. Oh, joy. Welcome home, baby. End of mission, guys. Holy hell. This was so annoying. What's your deal, bro? But yeah, no more logs. Also the long ones are gone. Plus the crap from the bed. Well, to be honest, we still have a lot of that on the bed, but it's a bit better. But yeah, guys, this took me 11 days. Currently it's Friday. Half a month of freaking sawmilling. Plus firewooding. Holy crap, I hate this. This is just so boring. But it has to be done. It's part of life, you know. I mean, what's my only other option? Go to the lumber store and buy lumber? Dude, what does that even mean? I don't understand. I already have all my lumber here. Why would I go to a lumber store? That makes no sense. But yeah, I'm really glad that this is over now, and actually I can focus on things that are a lot more fun plus important. As you can see, I already got my little pile over there, so starting tomorrow I'm gonna immediately get to work on another project. A little concrete project that luckily has nothing to do with freaking sawmilling or firewood. And maybe soon, but actually I only need to do that one project and then I can do the asphalt shavings part. But there's like a little issue, maybe, I'm not really sure. The guy who brought me the mix over there, he told me that the shaving thing is kind of problematic at the moment. It's becoming a rarity, I guess. They don't really want to sell that stuff anymore, they just reuse it. So if I'm not gonna be able to get any shavings, or if the price is just stupidly insane, then I'm just gonna put crushed rock here. I think that's good enough. I would love to put the shaving stuff. It will match up with the other road, but if it's like 4 times more expensive, then it's not worth it. So the spaceport madness will continue, sadly, or maybe luckily. Well, to be honest, I would love to continue to work on this guy, but I consider the spaceport a priority at the moment. So this guy will keep sitting here for a little bit, I guess, and then we'll deal with it. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll deal with everything eventually. We can only do one thing at a time, right? About this mission though. Now in the last video we did a bunch of that wild math, and we concluded that this bunch here is roughly 2 grand. 2 grand of lumber, iffy quality, but somewhere over there. And sadly we couldn't math enough to understand how much the live weights was worth. I think I said about 200 bucks, something like that. And the blanks, I think that was like $1. But the beams, dude, how much would that be worth? I guess we can do like a rough estimate. I mean, we seem to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, 29 something beams, and the length is somewhere between 5 and 6, so let's go with 5. 7,000. What is this shit? Accept all. 7,700 products. Okay. Let's see. 100 by 300. So the piss off, dude. What happened to my search? What is this? 100 by 150. 100 by 100. Dude, these are puny numbers. Okay, that's probably the closest. 100 by 200. I think that's the biggest I have. So that's 4 by 8 only. Dude, I have 6 by 12s. Much more. I don't know. Let's do some wild numbers. So if a 4 by 8 is 15 euros per meter, then a 6
by 12 is probably around maybe twice that. Let's go with like 22, whatever. So we have well, what did we have? 29 times 5, that's 145 meters times 22. Dude, like that's like 3 grand of beams here at least. What is the math correct? I'm not really sure. Maybe less, maybe more. Plus 2,000 for the other thing. 5 grand in lumber in 2 weeks. Correction, 11 days. But not only that, we also did firewood, right? And not a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 18. Whatever, let's go with 20 boxes of firewood. And let's be modest. Let's price 50 bucks per box. So that's like extra grand in firewood as well. Dude, I'm rich. Look at that. Wait, what? Man, I was supposed to do this as well. Holy hell, I completely forgot. Oh no, no way I'm starting over. Whatever, let's just ignore that. Well, actually I need to somehow set the stumps on fire, so maybe that's good fuel for that part. But anyway guys, I'm gonna go. This is probably like 3+ hours already. I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible, but as always I kind of fail at that as well. So bye-bye. I wanted to say something else, but then I got messed up again. So bye-bye. Oh yeah, about the bed. Dude, I wanted to pressure wash it, but man, I have no water. I got to go fix that stupid what is the opposite of leak? Jam. And there's like a little problem over there, so I'm gonna blow that up and then I get the water back. But you guys can go. Toodaloo. Yeah, that's the thing I was supposed to say.
Oh, ma teen jullie.
Hoogu teed niimoodi, et jalad ette ja siis taha. Hoia kõvasti kinni. See on nii raske mõju. There appears to be a glitch. Te kukute maha. You guys remember when we built that thing? Feels like ages ago. There's actually like a bird nest inside the tube at the moment. So that's good, right?